presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are MC.
It was a beautiful day in San Francisco, where we come to you from AT&T Park, where the Royals are ready to take on the San Francisco Giants. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Physiak. This is Rex Hudler, and the Royals come from San Diego, where they took 2 of 3, and power was the story at Petco.
Better believe it, Fizz. The Royals aren't known for that word power, at least not before the season started. This year, it's loaded top to bottom. You never know. Haas is starting to drive that bus. But Locaine says I'm not to be outdone. What about Salvi? Oh, my goodness. Salvi just broke the all-time record for catches with the Royals. Alex Gordon. Moose has been consistent all year long with that same stroke, getting underneath that ball, lifting it out of the ballpark. That really helps that starting pitching, I guarantee it.
And the starting pitcher tonight will be this man, Jason Vargas. The doctor is in, and he is looking for win number 9. His story is next. Kansas City is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. For all, for less. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler back with you. And you always talk about Jason Vargas being the doctor, that he gets that scalpel out and he carves up the opposition. And boy, he's been doing that this year.
So fun to watch a guy who knows how to pitch. Not just the modern game pitcher now who knows how to throw. This guy could pitch. And when I mean scalpel the corners. Scalpel the top part of the plate, the bottom, the edges. That's how fine he is, especially when that baby's all sharpened up. And when he gets some offensive support, look at that ERA. He can certainly shut the opponents down. Calling Dr. Vargas.
He is our Toyota League leader with that 2.08 ERA. And Hud, when he is able to get that changeup, particularly against a right-handed batter, That really ties them up.
Oh, that's the one pitch that it's called the fooler. Righties say, I hate the fooler pitch. That's the one who's going to get you off balance and get you to roll over. Little ground balls. He doesn't have to strike anybody out. He's a very tough pitcher to face.
Well, today was the second day of Major League Baseball's draft. When we come back, we'll talk about the draft recap with Joe Goldberg. That is next.
Minutes till first pitch, the second ever regular season trip for the Royals to AT&T, the third overall, as they are back for the first time since the World Series. Joel Goldberg down here in the first base dugout with the Royals as they are getting ready, and a lot of youngsters around the country are getting ready to begin their professional careers as the Major League Baseball amateur draft began yesterday, still going on, and the big story takes a look within the division at the Minnesota Twins, who had the #1 overall pick, and they took a shortstop out of California, a high school kid by the name of Royce Lewis, 18 years old, big time speed, has some power, homered at a showcase at Wrigley Field. And as for the Royals, they are thrilled with what they were able to do to start the draft. Nick Prado, speaking of high school kids from California, a good hitting first baseman from Huntington Beach. And then it was MJ Melendez from Florida, a catcher who hits from the left side. And Evan Steele with the competitive balance pick that the Royals had, going 73rd overall, a left-handed college pitcher. And there are many more picks too. We will keep you updated on that. But first order of business, the beginning of a 2-game series here in San Francisco.
Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools, so play it forward with Missouri Lottery. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. Well, can the Royals keep the West Coast momentum going? It's Kane for the Royals, and Jason Vargas on the mound against Ty Blach. Royals and Giants. The first pitch is next. Steve Physioc, Rex Hudler, Joe Goldberg with you in San Francisco on a gorgeous evening. And our temperature 65 degrees, and Whit Merrifield will lead things off. He had a couple of hits and the 2 victories out of 3 in San Diego. Then Bonifacio back in that starting lineup after getting Sunday off. Kane hit 2 home runs. So did Hosmer. So did Perez. And so did Moose in San Diego.
Man, as good as they swung the bat, Fizz, you almost hated to take a day off here in the city. But they had to, and hopefully they'll continue that momentum.
And now one of the most talented rookies in the National League in Ty Blach. This is a guy, good fastball changeup combination, Rex.
Yes, you know, Fizz, he's not overpowering, but this young man here, he has tremendous mound presence. He's a tough guy, and he wants to win in the worst way. Here's his weapons: fastball, change, curve, slider. You can see what the league's doing off of his fastball and the curve. Those are the 2 pitches that they get hit around the most. The changeup's been effective, especially to right-handed bats.
Well, here is Whit Merrifield, hitting .337 his last 28 games. And this is more of a pitcher's ballpark. And there is strike 1 thrown to Whit. And we'll see a lot of that from Ty Blach. He has only walked 13 in 64 in the 3rd innings, coming off a good start, albeit a loss to Milwaukee his last time out last Wednesday, losing 6-3.
Yeah, you know, Fizz, he hasn't walked a batter in his last 16 2/3 innings. That's good for us. Typically, Royals offense very aggressive. They like pitchers who throw strikes.
Merrifield takes the high fastball, and that's his fastball. He'll usually top out about 90-91.
Good hitting speed, Fizz. If it's right out over the middle of the plate, we're going to see some pilot to Bombardier. The boy's going to stay hot.
That's back up the middle, but fielded by the second baseman Aaron Hill, and he'll throw out Merrifield.
Okay, hit it hard. Giants defense, they're not quite the same as they were in 16. And of course, we all know most of these guys are the same guys, but each year's different. They're minus 28 defensive run saved this year.
You know Joe Panik today, who is the regular second baseman, but Hunter Pence is back and healthy after he missed some time with an injury.
Aaron Hill, the veteran, he's locking down second base tonight for Bruce Bochy. Royals, nothing really special to write home about as far as their average against southpaws this year. 236 as a team, only 18 homers. But they got to find a way. This is a big game, Fizz. The Royals, they're playing good baseball. They want to stay on that winning side, whatever it takes. A balk, walk, or a knock, whatever. Get her done.
Yeah, they had that dreadful month of April where they went 7-16, but 21-18 since, and they're still only 5 games back. And that's even though Ned Yost does not have 2 of his top starters in Danny Duffy and Nathan Carnes. That ball hit up the middle, but fielded by Brandon Crawford. 2 out.
Boy, that's a nice play. They got some good hands in there, that's for sure. Belt's a good first baseman. Crawford's one of the best shortstops. We all remember him. Belt's got skills. Interesting to see where Belt's been playing the right-handers, though. He is way off the line. And it's because he's very quick-footed, and he's a first baseman with some agility. Good move.
Kane has suddenly gotten power hot. He has 6 home runs, but 4 of them have come in the last 10 games.
Hokey for Locane, picking out that one.
There is a high drive to left field, but playable near the warning track and pulled down by Austin Slater. That does it for Kansas City. So we'll see Jason Vargas with his 8-3 record heading out to the hill here in San Francisco. Skipper Bruce Bochy, who was not in Kansas City for the first series earlier this year because of a minor heart issue in the starting lineups that he penciled in tonight. Denard Span will lead things off. Then Nunez, Belt, and Posey. Posey has been really their hottest hitter all year long. You can see by his numbers, 347 average. And Jason Vargas on the hill, making his 13th start.
All right, let's see if the doctor's scalpel's nice and sharp and he can work both sides of that plate and keep the ball down. ERA, very nice, 218. Opponent average, 239. And most of that is from left-handed bats. Very interesting. We'll show you his splits in a little bit. Not a big strikeout guy, doesn't matter. He puts the ball in play, and he's been really great at changing his game plan per team. Depending on what team he's facing, he'll throw more curves and more changeups. It just matter. We'll have to see what he's going to do tonight. There's the lefties. Look what they've done. 383. Righties, that's the numbers he wants for righties, because most lineups are all dominated by right-handed bats. 199, that works.
Why are the left-handers hitting him so well, though? Kane will run this one down, and there's one out.
Too much air under that ball. And Locane had to run all the way back in the infield. Nice job, Locane. Ford around the horn defense. It's all about Salvi tonight. He's the quarterback. That's right. Most every night it revolves around him. But, you know, lately he's been hot throwing runners out. 3 out of the last 5 base stealers he's nabbed. And we all know that's part of his game. But Fizz, going back to the splits, you're talking about why are the left-handers hitting so high off Vargas? It's because of the breaking ball. That's a major pitch against a lefty versus a lefty. And he's hanging those pitches up out of the middle of the plate, and they're getting hit by left-handed batters. Pretty simple.
And there is his pitch breakdown. 306 on the fastball. The changeup, man, it has been devastating both to right-handers and to left-handers. And there is the off-speed pitch right there.
And a professional hitter like Nunez, you can tell when they take a swing like that, that he's on. That's a fooler. We talked about it in the open, that changeup. It's a beauty.
He came over from the Minnesota Twins late last year and was really strong in the final 2 months, and has opened well the first 2 months this year, hitting 300. Foul off.
He's a good player. Veteran guy. Uses the whole field. Got a little power. Not a whole lot in this ballpark. But he's a smart player.
Has just 4 home runs this year. In there, a fastball right at the letters, and Nunez is going to hang around to argue a bit with Tim Timmons.
In order to be successful with the changeup, you got to pitch inside. And there it was. He scalped the corner. That's exactly what he did. Nunez, you got to go. Yeah, that is the doctor at work. Frustrating.
And there's the breaking ball you were talking about. He needs that against the lefties.
But what Dave Island told me today he wants him to do is to start that middle and let it finish off the dish away. It's been getting hit. Like that. That's the pitch he wants with that breaking ball. But that's why they're hitting him so much recently, is because he's been elevating that curve and they're hitting it.
I tell you, Dave was mighty proud of Jake Junis and his effort on Sunday.
Better believe that. Another thing that's been so impressive about Vargas is his tempo, his athleticism. He fields his position so well. It's fun to see any comebackers. He's very cool and calm. He's being a little bit careful here with Belt.
Well, Belt is a very disciplined hitter. He's walked already 40 times this year, and last year walked 104. Keen eye.
Give him one to hit right here. He's only hit 200 off of lefties.
Vargas does come right after him with the fastball at 87. Brandon Belt, former Texas Longhorn, now a veteran, 29 years of age. He has hit 11 home runs this year, knocked in 28. In there, strike 3 called. So back-to-back strikeouts looking of Nunez and Belt by Jason Vargas.
The doctor making a call in the Bay Area. Belt, you got to go.
For the unlimited baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. It's the All-Star game balloting. You can see Salvador Perez with over 1 million votes. Right now he leads all catchers in the American League. Alonso of the A's is leading the first baseman, which is a bit of a surprise over Miguel Cabrera and this guy, Eric Hosmer. Well, there's Salvi leading all catchers. Last week he was leading Baltimore's Wellington Castillo and that guy Buster Posey. They've got some good catchers in the National League with Posey and that guy at St. Louis, Yadi Molina.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Yadi, Buster would have more than 1 Gold Glove.
Good point. Well, you see how Hosmer is hitting, .314 average, and he's 5th in the American League with 75 hits. He was at 185 in late April and then really turned things around by going to the opposite field and up the middle, and his batting average has climbed about 130 points. Tried to check his swing, but he went, and that's a strikeout for Ty Block, his first. Now Salvador Perez. 10 of his 13 home runs have come on the road. And there's a base hit to right field for Salvador Perez. He wasn't waiting around. Picks in the first pitch and rifles it to right.
You know,
so we take a look at our Academy leaderboards. 2 great catchers. You were talking about Buster Posey and Yadi Molina, and look what both have done.
Yeah, and Fizz, one of the many beautiful things about this job is you get to go down and talk to these guys, and I talked to both of them today about what do you think, Buster, about Salvi? Salvi, what do you think about Buster? You know, and Salvi did just exactly what he told me he liked about Buster. He hit the ball to the opposite field. Buster Posey has hits high for average because he uses the whole field. Salvi said, I can't believe how he drives the ball to right center. And Salvi just took a little piece out of his book right there and went to right field. Going to the opposite field opens up the whole field. You hit for a higher average. Buster had a lot to say about Salvi. First of all, I admire that he's a world champion, that he's helped this ball club back-to-back World Series. Second of all, he's so big. He's a huge catcher, and he wants to play every day. I admire that because he knows how tough it is, Buster said, getting bumps and bruises, nicked, concussions, everything back there, and Salvi begs to stay in the lineup every day.
But that is also why Ned Yost and Pedro Grifol and Dave Island have done a very good job at resting Salvador, so his offense equals his first half offense. Ground ball to third, and they've got one and done.
Good try by Moose. Hit a hole over there.
AT&T in San Francisco. Tonight we are participating in the Home Run Challenge, where every home run and strikeout in this game raises money for prostate cancer research. Since June 1st, nearly $2.6 million has been raised in the challenge. You can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenge.org. Jason Vargas throws strike one. Buster Posey, you were talking about this young man being a dynamic talent, All-American at Florida State, and a catcher hitting .347 is impressive.
Yeah, you know, he's taking a page out of Joe Mauer's book, except Mauer hits from the left side of the plate. 2 batting titles for Mauer. Impressive. A catcher can win a batting title.
And Buster whacks one to left. That's a base hit. Gordon plays it in the corner, and Posey cruise into second base with a leadoff double. And as we take a look at the National League voting for the All-Star game, a reminder that the game is on Fox July 11th in Miami. Posey, the leading vote getter for the National League catchers, and you can see on the right side of the field how many Washington Nationals are there, and Zimmerman, Murphy, and Harper. So Posey gets the leadoff double off of Vargas, and now another right-handed batter in Hunter Pence. Pence turned 34 this spring. He's out of Fort Worth, Texas. High energy guy. He's spoiled a lot of Royals fans' dreams in 2014 when he hit .444 against KC in that fall classic.
And his teammate Sandoval wasn't too shabby either.
Foul back.
Good swing. That swing right there was designed with nobody out to get him over and in. Pence, he's hitting .250 off of lefties with 2 homers, but he's hitting .306 with a runner in scoring position. But he knows how to play the game. As you see their pennant there, the World Championship banner. He's going to try to move the runner to the right side if he can.
And Vargas has been very good with runners in scoring position this year. He has the 8th lowest average in the American League, 188. Would love to solve Pence and leave Pose at second base. Reach for that one. Posey will make it to third, but Hunter is out at first base. He did his job, and just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
And now we take a look and see where Ned's going to play the defense here with the runner at third base, less than 2 outs. See where he decides to play him. Looks like they're in. And that tells me that Ned thinks it's going to be a close ball game here. So he's early in the game. He's not conceding the run. He's hoping that the hitter Crawford can hit it at somebody. And they'll get a play at the plate if Posey does go.
And we talked about AT&T being a pitcher's ballpark. Marine Layer comes in. It doesn't carry as well in the nighttime as it does in the day. And both of these teams have been challenged to score runs. The Royals last in the American League at 3.8 runs, and San Francisco 14th out of 15 teams in the National League. And Crawford sends a fly ball to center. Kane makes the catch. Posey coming home. Throw by Kane is not in time. 1-0 Giants.
Brandon Crawford knocking in his 26th RBI on a pitch that he wanted to do exactly that. Get it up in the air. There it is. Hanging breaking ball. It stayed up. So we talked about the high average Vargas has given to lefties. And that was a very hittable pitch. Low Kane had really no chance. It's too deep.
Now Vargas will face the right-handed swinging Aaron Hill. And the reason he's in the game, Joe Panik is a left-handed batter, and Hill has 4 hits off of Vargas, and 2 of them are home runs. Aaron missed 30 games earlier this year because of a right forearm injury. The Giants really like to go with veterans off their bench, Hud.
Yeah, you know, that's a role that's made for veterans because it's so hard to do. Cheslor Cuthbert, he's a young player. He's learning how to be a role player this season, and it's been tough for him. But that's why you're a guy like Hill, who's a starting player for 8-9 years. He's 35 years old. Those are the guys that you count on to fill in and to pinch hit off a guy that's throwing 96, 97 at the end of the game.
Whacks that one to Mike Moustakas, who dives and makes the catch. But the Giants take the early lead at 1-0 over KC.
Park, one of the greatest in all of baseball, and Joel Goldberg out here on Levi's Landing just by the right field foul pole. A lot of traffic up here, a lot of folks getting a great vantage point. You know, Fizz, there really is not a bad seat in this ballpark. Even if you think about it, going to the upper deck, you have great views of the city, of the Bay Bridge if you're looking out towards left field. Counting about 6 kayakers as that one's going to squirt right out to Hunter Pence right below us in right field. But kind of about 6 kayakers out there right now as they're waiting maybe for a home run ball. You know, we've got the hot dog races, the ketchup, mustard, and relish back at home. They just had a live boat race out there in the Covey's Cove. So definitely a different feel out here, guys. It is a place that everyone at some point in their life should try to come out and visit. Just bundle up. It's a bit chilly and windy, even some people wearing gloves. But I think it was interesting, Fizz, that Ned Yost said he was walking around Fisherman's Wharf, walking around the wharf, and saw all that blue, even here in big San Francisco. A lot of Royals fans here today. They talk about the sellout streak, a lot of empty seats in the upper deck, but either way, incredible ballpark.
Yeah, it's great to see that blue amidst all this orange and black, but they've had 519 consecutive sellouts.
Joe, don't go too far. Alex is about ready to hit your souvenir. Oh, pick out that hanger and ride it. Alex has been swinging the bat, starting to find himself now. We knew he would.
Block has given up 5 home runs, but none to a left-hander this year.
It's always the first waiting.
Yep. Fastball right down the middle.
Tim Timmons has a nice strike call.
He does.
Yeah. You can hear him all the way up here. Except we don't want to hear it now. Well, now it's not bad. 2-1. Come in with a heater here. He did. Alex just fouled it off. Now here comes the breaker again.
You see what Gordon has done his last 8 games, a pair of doubles, 2 home runs, and Remember, he had no home runs in 192 straight at bats, and then 2 in his last 15.
Right idea. Try to shoot that ball over to the left side.
Yeah, the Giants defense is playing Alex more straight up than most defenses do.
Yeah, this is very interesting, Fizz. It just depends on what their scouts say.
A little flare to right, and it's going to drop for a hit just off the end of Hill's glove.
Oh, that's a good sign for Alex. I thought it had enough to get over his head without getting a tick on the glove, but way to go, Alex. That's nice. He was talking to it. Come on, get over his head, and it did. Eske almost got caught getting forced at second base. You see how he had to make that read. You got to be careful on that one. But he was able to stay in there. Nobody out.
And Vargas likely sacrificing. He squares, but pulls it back for ball 1.
This is a good situation for Vargas. Good athlete. Handled the bat. Good hitter in college.
Was he ever? He was one of Long Beach State's best hitters on a team that had Jared Weaver and Troy Tulowitzki and Cesar Ramos.
Let the third baseman field it.
Man, it's going to be a great one. Everybody's on. It's a bunt for a hit.
Like I said, he knows how to handle the bat. He wants the third baseman to vacate third. Kennedy, all of his guys, they're all going, really? Come on, man. Is it that easy? Yeah, that's exactly what he wanted to do. Push it. Third baseman got off it because he saw block, but the ball was hit too hard, bunted too hard, and block couldn't get to it. Look at the technique there. Barrel above the hands. Perfect. Knees bent. Oh, that's nice.
And I'm not sure if you saw Ian Kennedy, but it looked like his lips said it should have been a double. Vargas is on. The Royals have loaded the bases in the third. Nobody out. Whit Merrifield, the batter. Infield back. They'll go for the double play and give up a run.
You know, we saw Vargas looking at Kennedy in the dugout, and he's saying, that's right. I'll join the 1,000 average club with you. Kennedy's 1 for 1 as well.
Yeah, Kennedy had a walk and a hit.
All right, make mom happy, Whitley. Yeah, mom, brother, they're all hanging out. She's saying, Whitley, you're going to have to do some improvement on that 219 average with runners in scoring position. Okay, they're loaded up. Now let's see.
That's what mom's saying.
Yeah, let's say stay up the middle and in the big part of the field.
She's saying, whatever you do, son, I'll always love you.
But she wants him to up his average with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, because his mom was an elite tennis player in Carolina.
And she doesn't mind if I call her son Whitley.
Just high.
Now, Giant fans aren't too keen with all the Royals fans here chanting, let's go Royals. But when nobody out, bases loaded, right here, 3-1. Jump on it and drive it.
Belt has room, and that is a big out.
Whitley got the pitch he wanted, a little too much bottom hand, and just popped it up. Darn, I thought that'd see some seats. That's okay. It's just 1 out. Let's see what Bonifacio can do. He's hitting 172 with runners out there.
And he's had a tough time lately. Just 1 hit in his last 20 at bats. Did not play on Sunday. Had a rough time on Saturday with runners in scoring position, and pops the first pitch foul for strike 1.
Royals lately been doing a much better job hitting with them loaded. They're hitting .310 as a team. The 1 slam was on this trip, and that was courtesy of Locane, who's on deck.
Back up the middle, a base hit. In comes Escobar. Gordon's going to be sent home. The throw by Span is cut off, and the Royals take a 2-1 lead.
Nothing worse than popping up with nobody out like Whitley was feeling that. But now there's nothing better is that Bonifacio, his teammate, picked him up right there. Stayed short, used the big part of the field. This is what Whitley wanted to do. Didn't try to overswing, and he found the hole. Biggest hole on that field is right by the pitcher. Beautiful swing.
And Rex, perhaps if he overswings, it's hit to the shortstop and the inning is over.
That's exactly right. He wants to stay inside that ball. He knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he did it. That's just his second time up this year with the bases loaded, and he came through.
So Bonifacio now with 19 RBIs. Strike one to Kane. Got under it just a bit. Span comes on to make the catch, and 2 out. We'll join the Royals and some famous KC natives when celebrities take over the K for the annual Big Slick Celebrity Softball Game on June 23rd. 2 teams of celebrities will take the field for a softball game before the Royals take on the Blue Jays. Gates will open at 4:30 with the softball game starting at 5. All fans with tickets to the game are welcome to attend. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit royals.com/bigslick.
Yeah, that's coming up when we get home. Can't wait. We talked about Hosmer and how he's been able to raise his average over the last few weeks, especially the month of May. He's hitting .315 now with 2 homers out of his 7 off of lefties. He's really picked up his average against left-handers, and he's doing that by, of course, finding holes on the left side of the diamond.
And Hud, the first time up, it seemed like Block was trying to tease him with breaking balls down low and away, and Haas tried to check his swing. So what adjustments would you like to see Eric make?
I'd like to see him put one in the drink and let a kayaker pick it up for a souvenir and give it to him after the game.
That's an adjustment.
Turn and burn.
He's able to dot the outside corner. Left-handers only batting .175 against Block this year.
There's a few holes, you know, you can see a little big hole up the middle there. That'll work. Either way, just keep the line moving. Ever since Eric's gone to the Moustakas model, as far as 33.5 inches long and 32 ounces, that's when he's really been taken off. So he's got a comfortable feel to it, the bat, and when a hitter likes the balance of the bat, it feels good in his hand, you're going to be productive.
What was it before?
Yeah, so he had a 34.5 inch, 32 ounce, so it's a little bit longer. It's an inch longer, and I mean, I can, you know, this is a game of inches.
Block throws a good breaking ball to left-handed batters. And he throws another good one to Hosmer, strikes him out. But the rookie Bonifacio comes through with a base hit, drives in 2, and the Royals have their first lead.
Took advantage of that ball up. Very nice to see.
STIHL outdoor power equipment. Find a servicing STIHL dealer at stihldealers.com or search STIHL. And by Ford, going further so you can. Did you have a chance to ride the trolley this week?
I did.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was. It was good for all of us. Hey, now look at that, the Alcatraz out there. I know a few Royals players that went out there and took the tour. It's really interesting. But look, the wharf was beautiful. A lot of people, a lot of seals, and a lot of seagulls.
I hiked Mount Tam with my wife and son.
Yep, good for you.
Great to be with him. Bonifacio with 2 RBIs in the 3rd. Arquilla in the driver's seat. Well, Jason Vargas has himself a nice 2-1 lead here early. And Royal starters since 2000, most wins before the All-Star break. Paul Byrd had 11 in 2002, Greinke 10 in 2009. But there's Vargas, and he could have another 4 or 5 starts.
I believe so. I mean, look, he just continues to carve up the plate and keep the earned run average where it is and get some run support. He's got a chance to win, but that's what that is. Mainly, that's run support. That's how's your offense helping you.
Well, they gave him enough offense in his last start against Houston. A really good offense, and the Royals won 7-5. He gave up 2 runs in 5 innings, but had to throw 89 pitches. Here is Austin Slater, the rookie from Stanford. He had a very good series against the Twins, 5 for 11. Career high 4 RBIs on Sunday. Vargas tries to get him to chase that off speed. And there is the off speed. And even though it was up, it fooled Slater, who was way out in front. Strikeout number 3 for Jason.
Well, if you never faced Vargas before, you're going to have problems. Okay, it's because of that pitch there and where it was located. That changeup it's designed to go 2.5 inches off the outside part of the plate, just enough to get away from the hitter's bat. And when you're a craftsman, doctor, and you can surgically put that ball where you want it, you're going to get a lot of guys with that pitch.
Here is Block, who is 3 for 18 this year.
Okay, there's his fastball. Okay, it's not overpowering, but then he throws the changeup with the same arm speed as the fastball. That's what gets the job done when it tricks you.
Right there on the outside corner. Love the call by Tim Timmons. Steve Reich.
Love it. He lets the hitter know, and everybody else in the park can hear it right away. That's important.
Escobar. 2 out. Make sure to come out to the K for our next T-shirt Tuesday. Next Tuesday, when the Royals take on the Red Sox, the first 10,000 fans through the gates will receive a one-of-a-kind Hey, 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 hey T-shirt presented by Sprint. To view all T-shirt Tuesday designs for the season and get tickets, visit Royals.com/T-shirt Tuesday. And I think I threw in one too many Hayes.
Yeah, because you got my attention.
Yep.
I thought you were talking to me.
No, it was. You thought it was Jennifer saying.
No, Hayes for horses.
Pick up after yourself.
No,
hey, 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 hey.
She dropped the Hayes for horses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's all right. Vargas up here now. Let's see what he can do here.
Denard Span popped up to center field first time up. Breaking ball misses outside. Span has been around with the Minnesota Twins. He came up and then went to the National League, and now in San Francisco on the West Coast. Hit .266 last year.
.233 average against lefties this year. That's respectable.
Didn't miss by much.
Kind of funky start with his feet. You know, he's got his right foot all the way turned in, and that really tells him that I want you to keep my front side closed. But at the last minute, he's opening up. He didn't do that at our place a month ago. Maybe 2 months ago. Not sure how long it's been. But see how he starts? Look at that. That heel is almost pointing to the second baseman. And he stays like that, but now he's opening that up as the pitch is on the way. See how he turns that foot in? That foot's all the way pointed back. It's a little funky, but those are little mechanisms for memory for the hitter. Just a little reminder. You know, you see Kipnis, the second baseman for the Cleveland Indians, lay his bat down before he gets ready to swing. That's so he can feel the wood in his hand. Every hitter has a little something.
Right back to Vargas. You talked about his great defense. He always finishes in a great fielding position.
Park 2-1, and there you see Matt Strahm, who is not in the bullpen tonight. There is nothing wrong with him, but he found out some news when he got to the ballpark today. We found out a little bit after that the Royals have made a change in their rotation, and on Thursday, instead of Eric Skoglund, it'll be the left-hander Matt Strahm making his first big league start. For Matt, he said he was a little surprised to find out the news. Doesn't matter, though, to him either way. He was a starter for a while in the minor leagues, although it's been since about the middle of last year that he has started, as that ball is going to be lifted to Hunter Pence. And I should point out, by the way, guys, right as the inning was about to start, Hunter Pence took his warm-up ball, tossed it up here to the fans. Didn't go very well, trickled back out of the field. Very close to the fans, though, here, as he is looking up right now. That's one of the perks of this ballpark. But as far as Strahm goes, I think the Royals just wanted to try something else. They're going to move Skoglund to the bullpen. They didn't really have a whole lot of other options. Ned Yost saying that Miguel Almonte would have been a possibility, but he just got hurt. And they said, hey, let's give it a try with Matt Strahm. Maybe we'll find a little something like we did with Danny Duffy when he came out of the bullpen. And I think back to what Jeff Montgomery said last year when Strahm came up, that he kind of reminds me a little bit of a Chris Sale with the type of pitcher that he is. So we shall see on Thursday. Strahm with the start.
Thank you, Joel. I just like his response. Hey, thank you. I'll be ready either way. That's he. Keep the focus. Just going out and performing, and don't get too high or too low. Keep your focus.
Breaking ball in there to Moustakas. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Left center field. But it hangs up enough to allow Austin Slater to get there, and there are 2 out very quickly in the 4th inning. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is back with better picture quality than ever before. Watch every out-of-market game live at home, in the office, or on the go. Blackout restrictions do apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Two out for Escobar, who started the trouble for a block back in inning number 3, singling to right field. And then Alex Gordon would hit a little flare off the tip of the glove of the second baseman, Hill. Vargas would drop a perfect bunt. And then an out later, Bonifacio got a base hit up the middle and scored 2 runs.
You know, that's exactly what Ned Yost wants to see from Escobar. Find the hole. Go to the opposite field. Hit a home run in San Diego, but that's just, you want to tell yourself, well, that was just an accident. They really would love to have him continue to step up his production. Now he's in at 180 now. It's him and Alex. Alex is 181. They got to have their production.
And to try and get out of the slump, Escobar has stretched his strike zone a bit. And pops this one to the shallow right. Pence will take care of it. That does it for the Royals. 3 up, 3 down. Bottom 4 we go. KC by 1.
Let's check it out. We're going to go all the way across the country to Washington. Ryan Zimmerman. Oh man, is he on a home run binge. 2 more home runs tonight. And that ties, and that's the home run record for the Expos and Nationals. It ties Big Daddy Vladdy. That's his 19th on the season. He's having quite a year. That's one, 10-5.
Now they're rowing into McCovey Cove. Jason Vargas will try and keep it down so no balls get hit into the drink. Nunez, the batter, he's belted 4 this year. And Vargas delivers a big bender at 68 miles an hour. Now that is some kind of slow curve.
That's a beauty. That'll mess up the timing more than any other pitch. Because it's moving more than the changeup. The changeup's straight and it's a fooler, but that big curve, big slow curve, yeah, it's a pain to a lot of righties.
Yeah, he changes speeds and everything. We just saw a 68 curve go to a 77 curve. What's he got for him now? Another off-speed pitch, and he struck him out.
Changeup. Beauty.
This is our Missouri Lottery Fox track. He didn't throw him one fastball.
And just mess with him. He struck him out looking the time before that, and just messing with him. That's what a good pitcher can do. Make you look bad.
Here is Belt, who struck out looking his first time up, and he takes a hook for strike one. Well, Jason must have the feeling like, I think I've got a really good touch with this curveball.
So if you throw it first pitch and get it over, why not throw it again?
Nope, fastball up and in. And the Royals defending with 3 on the infield. Actually, only a total of 3 with the second baseman Merrifield in shallow right. Good fastball on his hands, pop foul, 1-2. San Francisco's really having a difficult time. They did win Sunday over the Twins, but still have lost 13 of their last 19 games. And they busted out on Sunday for 13 runs, but they're averaging about a little more than 3.5 the last couple of weeks. Here's Bochy. He has 1 main starters on the disabled list in Madison Bumgarner. Reliever Will Smith on the DL, Jarrett Parker, an outfielder on the DL, and Mike Morse and Connor Gillespie, important pieces, also on the disabled list. But still, they started the game 14.5 games back of Colorado. And this was a team that won 87 games last year and won a wild card spot. And this is Vargas again coming inside with that fastball and getting his 5th strikeout. And speaking of the disabled list, let's take a look at the University of Kansas Health System injury report. Another Houston Astro on the disabled list, a starting pitcher. Lance McCullers now joins Dallas Keuchel and Colin McHugh and Charlie Morton on the disabled list. So they have 4 main starters on that DL. And still they lead the American League West by 12 games over the Angels and Seattle and Texas.
Yeah, you know what? I think, Houston's got to find somebody else to step up. Should be able to stay above water. But if you're the Angels in Seattle and Texas, you're excited about that. You're like, all right, it's our chance to pick up some ground. No sympathy cards will be sent to A.J. Hinch and the Houston Astros.
Well, I'm still amazed at how well they've been playing despite losing those guys.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They got to have somebody on the mound. Their bullpen is really good. So really, on starters, all you got to do is eat up 4 or 5 innings, maybe.
Yeah, they've still gone 5-5 their last 10. Just off the plate. We were talking about Buster Posey winning a National League batting title. He did that in 2012, hitting .336, but chases an off-speed pitch and misses. Full count.
Well, what I'm noticing so far tonight in Vargas's 54 pitches is that he's changing speeds with his fastball this time around. We've seen him against the Cleveland Indians use changeup after changeup. Cleveland again in back-to-back starts, and Posey's staying out there on that line. Now I bet Alex is going to throw him out this time.
That's why he puts the brakes on.
He faced Cleveland in back-to-back outings. He changed up. He made changeup, curveballs, and then against Houston he threw a lot of breakers. Tonight he's changing. And whenever a righty gets a hit like that, it's an off-speed pitch, and it was out, and he just reaches out and slaps it in there. Nice back leg bend.
He's hitting almost 400 against left-handers this year. 2 for 2 tonight. Now Pence. There's that changeup, and when it left his hand, it sure didn't look like it was going to be the fastball, and Pence thought that way out in front. Escobar to second. They get the force. That's it. Vargas leaves 1. We head to the 5th. It's the Royals by 1 over San Francisco.
draft pick yesterday, Nick Prado. This kid should be ready for the spotlight, even as an 18-year-old, because go back 5 years ago, he had the walk-off in the Little League World Series, and now he is property of the Royals. Hopefully now, let's take a look at our sprint trivia question. All right, guys, just start jumping in. Name the 5 Royals first-round draft picks with the highest WAR ever with Kansas City. So, first-round draft picks of the Royals that had the highest WAR during their time in Kansas City.
Alex Gordon. That's one.
Ring it up, Hud.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay, Fizz, good luck to you.
Gordo lines one sharply.
You get the rest of them. I got the one, the shoe in. Yeah, that hurt, didn't it, sir? That's right.
How about Hosmer and Moustakas?
No.
Throwing it out there.
Come on, dig deep, Hud. Fizz, you've been around and seen these Royals teams for a long time. You know all the first-round draft picks.
Thank you, Joe.
Gordon to right and deep. That's a way back, and it is off the wall. And Alex will make it to second base with a double. So Vargas in another bunt situation.
Tell you, when I saw Hunter Pence turn and look, thought that ball had a chance to get out of here. Again, the one-hand takeoff is working. That's a mistake out over the plate, belt high, and good to see Alex not missing those now. Earlier on, he's trying to do too much with it. Now he's just guiding it out there. He's keeping the bat head is in the hitting zone a long time, and that's how he's able to barrel those. Good start. Get him over. Thankfully, it was foul.
I'll say, because they had Gordon in between second and third base out.
Okay, Fizz, I got one for you. How about Johnny Damon?
Oh, that's a good guess.
Ding, ding, ding. How about...
we have to let our fans have time to think about this and guess also.
Okay.
You can't just be throwing out answers.
Just take my ball and go home.
Okay.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, Vargas gets a do-over right here. Now, Posey would have had Alex in no man's land because he was in the middle. That would have been an out. Look at that.
Vargas was showing he's going to swing.
Okay, so with the first baseman in like that, pull it right by him.
Tell you, Vargas was a very good hitter at Long Beach State. He mainly played designated hitter when he wasn't pitching.
Look at that. You just shoot that ball right by him there. Put it in play.
Swinging again, trying to drop it to center. Oh, Crawford's got it.
Good try. Whitley now is going to say, all right, last time I had the bases loaded, I popped up to the first baseman. Now I'm going to see what I can do to stay on top of the ball. In my opinion, Whitley is liking his power numbers, and he's getting underneath the ball too much. He needs to get back up on top of that ball again and start shooting at line drives. The fly ball outs have been a lot.
And it appears that the off-speed pitches, whether it's the change or the curve, are the ones giving him more trouble than the fastball.
Yeah, but he's shooting the ball the right way. Just his bottom hand is dominant, and he's underneath the ball. He's got to stay on top of the ball, work a little bit more top hand. It's a fine mix between the bottom and top hands with the bat in your hand.
One ball, one strike. Merrifield has been one of the Royals' best against left-handers. Started the night hitting .368, but 0 for 2 with a ground out and pop up, facing block.
He's trying to come in on it.
Good idea. Two guys who know a little bit about Omaha. Merrifield had the game-winning hit for South Carolina when they won the College World Series at Rosenblatt Stadium, and Block went to Creighton University in Omaha. Great pitcher for the Blue Jays. In the dirt, good block by Posey.
And that's another thing that we see Whitley. We rarely see him swing at pitches like that. That's a very good plate discipline going on right now. And you don't want to, with 2 strikes, just give your at-bat away.
His family in the stands, taking pictures. Too short. Crawford throws out Merrifield and 2 out. No advance again by Gordon, who led the inning off with a double. Royals fans, if you can't catch a game on TV, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Royals, just like Salvador Perez says.
Fox Go.
Bonifacio had the big hit back in the 3rd inning. The bases were loaded with 1 out. Singled back up the middle.
How about Zach Greinke? One of those #1 picks with the highest WAR.
Okay.
Ding, ding, ding. How many more we need? 2 more? See if Jorge can be the one-man wrecking crew tonight. Knocked in the first 2 runs with him loaded. Okay, now he's got a nice favorable hitting count here. I mean, the 339 down the left field line, certainly reachable for him. 382 in the alleys. Now, I'm not calling a homer, but
when he's been behind in the count, he's thrown that fastball away outside corner to right-handed batters.
In a head, he's not going to give him a heater. Bonifacio is smarter than that. Changeup.
How about that?
Yeah. 2-0. You can't look heater with a guy who doesn't have an overpowering fastball. A guy who throws mid-90s, yeah, he might take a chance on one, but that's a good spot. Jorge swings at that, he's going to top it in the infield somewhere. Good take. Wait for that mistake like he did in his last at-bat. Curveball.
You have the rookie right now and the veteran Kane on deck.
Somebody's got to pick up Vargas here. Vargas had a chance to get Alex over and he missed. It was a good try, but he could pick him up. That would have meant that he's picked up 2 guys.
Well, he threw a 2-0 changeup and now a 3-1 fastball. Well, that really gets you thinking.
So you try not to here. Just go up there like he has, trust his hands, sit up there and have total plate coverage, and then just look in a certain area, and if it's close, knock another run in. You don't have to look for a certain pitch. Just look in an area.
He pops him up. Shallow right. Pence. The Royals waste the leadoff double by Alex Gordon.
earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Vargas, he's making the house call. Doctor is right here. So far at AT&T Park here in the Bay Area, he's executing his pitches. Look at that. And he can field his position as well. Look at him keeping the ball out of the middle of the plate. That's what he does so well. He's pitched 4 strong. He's got 5 punch-outs. And he's facing the bottom of the lineup now. Let's see if he can mow him through, and Wilson can get back in there and get some more runs for him.
And Crawford, the lefty, lines out on the very first pitch he sees, and Vargas will take that. Pitch count right now at 58 as he is working the 5th inning. So now Jason will take on Aaron Hill, who he got on a line drive to end the 2nd inning, as Hill ripped it, but Moustakas laid out to his left and made a nice catch. Strike 1. 2 starts ago, Vargas was absolutely sensational with the complete game shutout of Cleveland. Interesting, Ty Block did that 2 starts ago as well.
Aaron Hill was telling me before the game that he used to admire utility guys that could come in there and play, you know, late and do pinch hitting and late, you know, because he was always a position player. But now when he's in that role late in his career, he says, as for the birds, you can have it. He goes, I respect him even more now because it's so hard to have to do that. He said he's going to do all he can, try to catch up to Vargas.
Ooh, barely missed.
And he's from Visalia, which is about 3.5, 4 hours south of here. So he always has a lot of family up here.
Popped up, foul territory. Moustakas, that coach's box, will make the catch, and 2 out. All right, Hud. Our sprint trivia question was, name the 5 Royals first-round draft picks with the highest career WAR wins above replacement with Kansas City, and you were able to nail down Alex Gordon.
I wasn't done.
I know. Okay, go ahead.
Willie Wilson.
Well, that's a good pick too.
Ding, ding, ding.
Apier was the other one.
We missed him.
I know there are so many great Royals like George Brett and Brett Saberhagen who were not first-round picks. Mike Sweeney was not a first-round pick. Austin Slater struck out swinging his first time up on a changeup. And there's the off speed again, and he hasn't gotten a clue on it yet. Slater got called up after hitting .322 at AAA, and they had a need because of the injury to Jared Parker. And now a line drive on an off-speed pitch, a curveball that was left up.
Hey, Wisely put the brakes on. Now watch this little breaking ball. Now he flings this bat. Look at that. He just tossed that up all bat, rolled all the way to the Royals dugout. But anyway, he's trying to get some momentum. See, he's thinking double. Locane gets to it. Little spin move. Locked him up. 2 outs.
So now the pitcher, Ty Block.
And you know that makes a manager happy most of the time, when the hitter before the pitcher doesn't make the last out. National League rules, you don't want the pitcher leading off the next inning.
Vargas goes right after him and evens the count at 1-1.
Let me tell you a little something about this guy, Block. He's a tough guy. I asked Bruce Bochy, the skipper, before the game today about him. What kind of mound presence does he have? What kind of guy is he? Is he tough guy? Is he a little soft? What is it? He says he's very tough. This guy, we asked him to pitch in the last game last year to get us by the Dodgers and Hershiser. Excuse me, not Oral.
Clayton
Kershaw. I meant Kershaw. And this guy, he pitched 8 innings shutout Only gave up 3 hits. And by the way, he got 2 hits off of Kershaw.
Well, he's the grandson of a cattle rancher and worked on a farm growing up. Matter of fact, his dad, Randy, is still in the cattle business as CEO of CattleFax, a sort of Bloomberg of commodity markets, providing market information, analysis, and research.
But yeah, to step up like that for the team and to get him into the wild card game, that was huge.
How about that?
You know, what kind of fish that is? Carp? The heck was that?
We thought that might be a shark.
No.
Yes.
Can't be.
Look at it. It's a shark.
Wow.
It's not a carp.
Hey, look, Fizz, come on. This is the ocean. I'm used to
I know.
fresh
That's
water.
what I'm talking about.
I'm used to fresh water.
When you said carp, I'm going, wait a second.
Hey, Truman Lake's got a lot of good crappie in it, Fizz.
It's one of those shark catfish.
That's where I do my fishing now.
Oh.
I don't do any deep water fishing. Vargas,
He's got him down 1-2.
try to find a hole here. In the
Oh, where'd that miss?
I don't know.
He gave it to the rookie. Right there. That's a strikeout.
So Blocks, he's having the at-bat and wasting a few pitches, but you see Crawford, he made it out on the first pitch. So 8
How about
pitches.
a changeup right here?
Yeah, 8 pitches.
He got him to pop up. Merrifield in shallow right. Wood takes care of it. That does it for the Giants. We head to the 6th inning of play with Sharks cruising. Bonaparte is hit right now. The difference in this game with the Royals leading 2-1. And as Rex Hudler told you, there's the great saltwater carp in the San Francisco Bay. Any fish will bite if you got good bait.
That's right, Fizz. I much prefer freshwater. Thank you.
Well, this is our Sonic Slam inning, and our contestant is Matt Hester from Raymore. If the Royals hit a home run out of the yard in this inning, Matt, you get yourself $200. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Matt will win $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. Ty Block staying in the game, facing Lorenzo Cain, Eric Hosmer, and Salvador Perez. Ball in there, strike one. And Block opened 2017 as the only left-hander in the Giants bullpen, but returned to the rotation in late April when Madison Bumgarner was injured in that motorbike accident in Colorado.
Yep, Bochy said he's been doing a nice job ever since Bumgarner got injured. Day after he left the K.
Signal to center field for Kane, so the Royals have their leadoff man on again. It's the third time tonight their leadoff guy has been on. Once he scored in Escobar, and once they left him on in Gordon. And Eric Hosmer, we told you, all-star worthy the way he has been competing, hitting .364 his last 7 weeks. Alonso of the Oakland Athletics right now in front of him, and Miguel Cabrera, who's always very deserving, one of the elite players of our generation. But Hosmer getting that batting average over .310. He started the day at .314. 0 for 2 though, with a couple of strikeouts against Block.
It's up to the loyal fans in Kansas City to vote him in. Keep it up, folks. Come on now, we can do it.
MVP last year.
Believe it.
There's a base hit to left field.
Oh, so clean.
Well, time to vote for him, and the 2017 All-Star ballot is at your house. Just go online, head to Royals.com/vote to choose your hashtag All-Star Game worthy stars and send them to the All-Star Game on July 11th in Miami. Vote at Royals.com. And here's a guy who's getting a lot of votes, not only in Kansas City but throughout America. Salvador Perez, regarded as the best catcher in the AL.
Time to give Vargas a little cushion. Salvi coming in a .224 hitter with 3 of his 13 homers off of lefties.
Block, though, has induced 9 double plays this year.
He's tried to serve the ball to right field both times up. Flew out to the right fielder, and his first time up, a clean base hit to right.
The Royals have been strong with runners in scoring position their last 11 games, hitting .360. That's the highest in the major leagues in June.
2 for 8 tonight with runners in scoring position.
One of them by Vargas, the other by Bonifacio.
Yeah, so in order to stay out of the double play, you got a conscious bottom hand, stay in the middle of the field. But if he hangs one, you got to do what you got to do. You can get him over that way, especially with this guy's power. Got Moose coming up, nobody out. You got 2 of the best home run hitters hitting back-to-back here. Can't ask Salvi to serve one to right. Although he told me before the game, like I said last time up, he loved how Buster Posey uses right field, and with Buster catching here tonight, he wants to impress him.
The deepest part of the yard is right center. It's .421 to right center. So if he could hit that gap, he could easily score both Kane and Hosmer.
Very quirky like corners out there too.
But he strikes out swinging. Well, we mentioned Mike Moustakas' power, and as we check out the Kubota power stats, Moose has been incredibly hot of late. 17 home runs. Only Judge and Smoke have more.
Had a nice conversation with Moose before the game. Moose, your lower half hasn't changed from day 1 of the season till now. He said, my mechanics feel good. I'm in a good place. My hands are in a good spot. All I do is rock back and swing it.
Up the middle, Crawford gets it, but cannot get anybody. And the bases are loaded for Alcides Escobar. That's a hit.
When Moose talked about moving his hands back to go forward, that's what he was telling me. Sometimes he goes too far back, He can't get his, watch these hands, watch him. Now they're going to go right back, see, back to go forward. Now he's got something to come forward with right here, and he stays right through the ball. Nice head position. Okay, he's got a stiff front leg. That's always good for leverage off of that front side. And he finds a knock. 1 out. Eske wants to stay in the middle of the field here.
How about the outfield arms?
Arms are good. Hunter Pence can throw in right field. The center fielder, don't worry too much about Span.
Down the line, that's a base hit. In comes Kane. In comes Hosmer. Moustakas will be held at third, and the Royals go up 4-1.
Oh, that's exactly what Eske wanted to do there. Take a slice down the right field line, keeping inside of the ball, not going to roll over for a double play. Hanger, he saw it the whole way. He tried a little backdoor hanger for the second time tonight. He sliced it by the first baseman over there. Belt. It's 2 he's gotten by him. But with the run, with Royals on the bases, watch how the ball stuck. I thought Moose might have been able to score because the ball stuck underneath the padding out there, but all right, second and third, and they're going to intentionally pass Alex with 4 fingers
to get to Jason Vargas.
Vargas, look, Vargas got to be pumped up right now. He's got a nice 3-run lead, would like to get more, but it's all in his hands.
And how about the job by the 7-8 guys for Kansas City? Escobar and Gordon came in hitting 180 and 181. They are 4 for 5 with a couple of runs scored and 2 RBIs, and a big moment in this game for the Giants. And Guerin is pitching, or down in the bullpen for San Francisco, getting ready as Block laboring here in the 6th inning. He's thrown 81 pitches. And Block had pitched very well prior to his last start, a game he lost to Milwaukee, giving up 5 runs in 6 innings. But that snapped a 4-start win streak where he was 4-0 with a 1.91 ERA. So in the few mistakes that he's made, the Royals have made him pay for it. They now have 4 runs on 10 hits.
So you're Vargas right here. Look at him looking at the signs down there. Mike Jerschley. You see him, the outfield automatically comes in. But Vargas, just go ahead and use the whole field. And he's quiet. Look at him, he's not jumping. You can tell he's not up there. He doesn't look nervous. Watch his hands on the bat. Watch how loose they are. See that? He's a hitter. Nice swing. Under control. You notice that? High heater looks good. Now let's see how he handles the breaker. Look at him eyeball that. That looked like a pretty good pitch right there. If he turns on that, he might empty the bases with a double down the line. Good spot. Another heater coming.
A strike evens the count at 2-2. And a strikeout looking, so 2 gone. But the bases stay loaded for Whit Merrifield.
Oh well. Let Whitley pick him up. Boat's coming in.
Yeah, he's going to bring on the right-hander Guerin, who has been warming up in that bullpen. He is our Chevy call to the bullpen with the Royals leading 4-1. We'll be right back. greatest players battle to be crowned America's champion in golf's can't-miss major of the year. The 117th U.S. Open begins Thursday on Fox, FS1, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Two great sports in America, golf and baseball. And here is Corey Guerin. He hails from a small town of Dayton, Tennessee, most famous as the setting for the Scopes monkey trial.
So nice job. 1.40 ERA. 217 opponent's average. He's a sidewinder. He'll be tough for Whitley. Sidewinder, sinker, slider, changeup.
And he's thrown very well of late. 8 scoreless innings over the last 7 games.
Big spot right here to break his heart, though. Whitley's wants to find a hole the worst way.
Ball 1. There are ground outs and a pop up.
One for 6 with him loaded, Whitley, this year. It was a double.
Tied the game. Big game. Great comeback. Tries to drop one to right. Pence racing in. Dives, can't get there. It's going to clear the bases. Merrifield's going to have 3, and the Royals have busted this game open.
Whitley taking a slice down the right field line, and that makes his mommy proud. Believe it. Now that he's got a double and a triple with him loaded this year. That's special. That one, he just took a little slice, is in. Pence missed it by 2 feet. And that helped him clear the bases. What a beautiful job. And that's why Vargas didn't even swing the bat. He says, I'll let my guys clean up the bases for me. Took the call third. Says Whitley's going to pick us all up here. And he did.
And a guy who's been really tough on right-handers this year. And as we were talking about, he had allowed only 2 hits to his previous 26 batters faced. But Merrifield with a bases clearing triple, and the Royals are leading by 6. Kansas City scored 27 runs now in their last 3 games, and this one is not over yet. They have not won 3 in a row since May 11th through the 14th, a month ago. Fouled off.
Nothing better to be in the opposing ballpark than it being nice and quiet.
Bonifacio trying to drop it to center. He does, and Merrifield will score for an 8-1 Royals lead.
It's contagious. But again, Bonifacio and Whitley using the opposite fields, not trying to pull the ball, just putting it in play, and that's a beautiful thing. Now ball's inside even. I mean, way off the plate, 3 inches. You're not trying to pull that. He stayed in the middle of the field. That's how you get the hits and knock in a run. Another 2-out RBI. Very nice. This kid Guerin has been tough lately on hitters. The Royals just seem to be mopping guys up. It don't matter what they got. They're getting big hits. I like how they're getting on base. Hitting with runners in scoring position. 8 runs now.
Boniface with a career high 3 RBIs on the night. 2 in the 3rd. And 1 now in the 6th. Kane started it with a base hit to center. So the Royals sending 10 to the plate here in the 6th inning.
First time, this is the 3rd game in a row they've scored 8+ runs. That's the first time since 2012.
Kane chased that slider, I think mad at himself, realizing it was never a strike.
Yeah, Kane, he said he wants to run that count to 3-1, but now it's 2-2. We'll probably see another slider. Kane, he's got 26 walks. That's the most on the Royals. Fair ball. Okay, thank you. Got a little help. Love to hear that. Second base umpire Will Little helped out Tim Timmons. Now Bochy's yelling at Timmons saying, hey, the play was right in front of you. You called it fair. And the guy out there at second base is the one who made the call. Not making Bochy happy. Will Little's digging himself. Look at him. He's saying, hey, way to listen for me. Kane, a little rebate here. Does it look like it was a fair ball to me? Unless it hit him.
And he gets under it and lifts a high fly ball to center field. Span will take care of it. But a wonderful 6th inning it is for the Royals as they score 6 runs. Merrifield with a bases clearing triple. And Bonifacio, exclamation point at the end.
Frenzy hit.
There's no better way to enjoy a Royals game than with a group of friends, employees, or customers. You can receive discounted ticket rates and a complimentary message on the outfield scoreboard when you purchase 20 or more tickets. Large groups also have the opportunity For complimentary tickets, on-field presentations, and batting practice field visits, depending on group size and availability, call 816-504-4040, option 4, or email groupsales@royals.com for rates and availability. Well, pretty good so far in the Royals' first game at AT&T Ballpark since the 2014 World Series.
How about the top of the order, the two young guys, huh? Bonifacio and Merrifield driving the bus.
They have driven in 6 of the 8 runs thus far. 3 by Merrifield, 3 by Bonifacio, but also the 7-8 guys. Escobar and Gordon, we told you, 4 for 5, and on base 5 times. There's a breaking ball in there. So Vargas well on his way to his 9th win this year. Hud, what were your memories of that 2014 Fall Classic when the Royals were here and taking on the Giants?
Kidding me? Goldie and I were at the Power and Light District, downtown Kansas City. Fans were all over. They were rabid. It was beautiful.
Merrifield will take care of Span.
I hope we see that again. It was so much fun. There was energy galore there, Fizz. And me and Goldie were in the green room and back at the stage, and you know, every once in a while we'd make an appearance out there on the stage and try to, you know, work the people up a little bit, you know, and it was just a lot of fun, man. I can't wait to just do that again.
Yeah, Mike Krukow, who is the San Francisco Giants broadcaster, he came into our booth before the game and he said, Kansas City is my second favorite city behind my own. He goes, those fans were so wonderful. And he goes, when we beat them in game 1, I walked out in the parking lot and people were coming up to me because I was wearing my orange and black jacket, and they said, your guys did a very good job in beating us today, but we're going to try and beat you tomorrow. There's Kruk, who's a fine pitcher for the Giants, and he and Dwayne Kuiper, 2 terrific broadcasters. But he said, did you get Royals fans from an icebox? And I said, what are you talking about? Well, great effort by Alex Gordon, as he always does. And I said, what are you talking about, Kruk? And he goes, your fans were so nice. It was like they were 1950s people, and then they were frozen and thawed out for the 2014 World Series.
They're one of my favorite teams to listen to, especially, you know, when our games are over. They get it. They have fun. They get on their fans. They have a good time. They're really a blast. But I can tell you something that just happened is that ball that Moose and Gordon went with down that line there. That is dangerous area with the mounds exposed. Okay, and Alex tripped over the mound.
And remember last year in Chicago.
Yep, we remember that for sure. But that is something I think the Giants would like to change, because that's in play. It's a mound. It's 10 inches tall. And when you're running for the ball, you're looking at the ball in the air. You can't see that underneath you.
Pretty well struck right center field. Bonifacio will not reach this one. And it is a double.
Well, I mean, Nunez couldn't have put this in a better place. I mean, it's just a tweener, in between it.
Vargas has struck out Brandon Belt both times tonight. Once looking, once swinging.
7-run lead. Vargas with 85 pitches. Got to love it. Look at it. Now the scalpel gets even sharper. And he's going to continue to. He might even be a little bit more generous and put some more pitches out of the plate. I doubt it, but he's going to, you know, he's going to go right after it.
Got under it. Kane at the warning track. Nunez will tag at second, make it to third, but 2 out.
And the most important and impressive thing for Vargas too is not only the bunt base hit he got early, was no walks tonight.
Yeah, it seems like when he walks, sometimes it's on purpose, where if you look down, it's usually the 3-4 hitters that Jason works around. Well, he's facing another 4-hitter, and he's a darn good one. Buster Posey, who is 2 for 2 tonight. A double. He scored the Giants' only run on the sac fly by Crawford in the second. Rolls that one to second. Merrifield, easy play. And Vargas through 6. He's well on his way for his 9th win. And who's driving the bus?
All aboard!
By Ram. Test drive a Ram truck at the Ram Drive and Discover sales event going on now. And brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. You know, during the 2014 World Series, I hiked to that park where there's a beautiful location of the cities and that row of houses. Man, this is really a beautiful, beautiful city.
That's what they call it, the city.
And they're proud not only of their Giants, but of their Golden State Warriors, who won the NBA World Championship last night with a victory over the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yep, they put that on the board earlier in the game.
Did they ever?
But, you know, just out and about, I mean, just great to see Royals fans take advantage of the trip, you know, out here. I think we have a package like that they can go on and check out the cities. This is one of the best West Coast swings you can have, because you start in San Diego, up here to San Francisco, and 4 in Orange County, and you know, the weather's perfect, and the fans get a chance to see some things they've never seen before, especially the ballparks.
And you can get some great deals with the Royals on Royals destinations, and they'll be going to the Los Angeles. You can follow them when they play the Dodgers, interleague baseball in July.
Yeah, there's another West Coast trip this year.
Boston,
Seattle.
East.
Who wants to go to Seattle? Yeah. Raise your hand. That's a really fun park there.
So you can go to the East, and when we play the Red Sox, Fenway. Hosmer 1 for 3, a single, a run scored.
That base hit to the opposite field was nice. Probably somewhere around 100, 105 exit velocity. Clean base hit to left field. That's a signature Hosmer hit.
What was his launch angle?
There was none. It was a worm burner. It was a scorcher on the ground.
All these new terms in Major League Baseball.
I like it. If it can bring the young viewers on, bring it. It's exciting. It's fun. you know, they're doing the best they can to make the games go a little bit quicker. But still, if you like strategy, it's a lot of fun to watch this. It's a mind game. A classic confrontation between a big league pitcher and a big league hitter.
Can you imagine a little leaguer, some field, maybe at the near Lake Shawnee, saying, "Daddy, what did you think of my launch angle?
What do you think about my spin rate?
My exit velocity was at least 30 miles an hour."
Yeah. Haas will take the walk.
Yes, he does, and a leadoff walk here in the 7th inning.
That's his 20th walk.
Fans, we told you now's your chance to hit a grand slam on tickets with the Price Chopper Grand Slam 4-pack. You'll get 4 View Reserve tickets to any Sunday through Thursday Royals home game and 4 Royals baseball caps, all for just $44. The Price Chopper Grand Slam 4-pack can be purchased exclusively at any area Price Chopper location, so pick up yours today. Perez takes a strike. Salvi 1 for 3, and that was a single his first time up. Since then has flied out, struck out. Aaron's slider misses by a lot.
You know, he's not really a down under sidewinder like Moylan. He's more of a short armor. That's what they call it. He's got a little short armor action. You know that it causes some deception to right-handed batters. But he's not a long arm sidewinder.
Salvador lines out. Hosmer has to hustle back to second base. Ball flipped off a belt, and I think you were more concerned about Hosmer's right ankle.
Yeah, that right ankle, man. Be careful when you go back like that. You want to stop right in the front part of the base. He went on top, and that's how you twist that ankle. Okay, Pence sees him getting off. Now Haas, watch his right foot.
Ouch.
Yeah. That bag will bite you. It's stationary. It's in the peg in the ground. It doesn't move.
Moose reached on an infield hit to load the bases in the 6th inning, and the next batter, Escobar, would shoot one down the right field line for a double.
It's key. A little frenzy hitting broke out in that 6th inning.
6 runs on 6 hits.
Believe it.
Moose goes deep, center field, and over the head of Span, up against the wall. Denard will hustle it in. They'll hold Hosmer at third base, and Mike has his 2nd hit of the night.
Oh. And Moose has fans everywhere. Listen to them out there. They're not booing their pitcher. They're Moose calling.
Now this hit speeds a lot.
Fizz, this hit right there, if he pulls that and gets it up, that's the drink. And there's another week's worth of Goldberg's laundry hung on that liner. Believe it. That ball was tattered and battered.
So the Royals with another big offensive night. 8 runs on 13 hits. Infield in. A strike thrown to Escobar, who had the big hit in the 6th inning.
That's right. State the same idea right here. He has a chance to have a big game. Our Dodge drive of the game shows you a batter that has control of the baseball bat. Same type of swing. It's what he wants. Think opposite field. If he hangs one, go ahead and pull it.
No, he does go to short, and Crawford will throw him out. So 2 down now in the 7th inning. Well, they might just walk Gordon again.
You get to Vargas.
They are.
Put him on. All right, so Gordon with 2 walks now gives him 24. He's just shy of the team leader, Lorenzo Cain. Now, does that take time off the clock right there? I mean, there's no clock in baseball, but I mean, does that speed the game up?
Mike,
I think it
let
does.
me check my watch.
I mean, you know what? It does. It's been 2 of them, and just
11 seconds.
yeah. First pitch, be ready. Ooh, put a little wrinkle on it. That's not fair.
Every time Vargas has been up, he's had runners on, 2 on, nobody out. Sacrifice, actually came up with a bunt base hit.
And look at they're playing him straight up.
And after the double, he popped up in the 5th and struck out looking with the bases loaded in the 6th.
Pence showing him a little love for the power department out there.
He chops it to second.
Take your time, Vargas.
So the Royals leave the bases loaded, but still lead this game 8-1. Play, even though they have one of the top defenses in the game. And you know, fans, every time the Royals turn a double play, the next day McDouble sandwiches are only $1 at participating McDonald's in the greater Kansas City, St. Joseph and Lawrence locations. Vargas has induced 11 double plays this year. At one time he trailed 1-0, but the Royals got 2 in the 3rd and 6 in the 6th. They lead it 8-1. Knock block out. Now Pence, Crawford, and Hill.
Vargas at 88. He had 89 pitches thrown last outing as he went 5 innings against Houston.
First pitch curveball, strike 1 to Pence.
He's thrown as many as 103. That was 2 starts ago against Cleveland.
Complete game shutout. That was an awesome game
Sure
to
was.
broadcast and watch.
And turn the crowd at the K upside down. They were rocking.
You know, particularly in that 9th inning when they know he came out there, they were roaring when Ned sent him back out for the 9th inning. There's a great pitch, popped up, and Whit Merrifield will take care of Pence, 1 out.
So I was talking with Alex Gordon, on the bench before batting practice today, and I said, "Hey, what's special about this ballpark?" And he goes, "Well, you know what? Not a lot. I mean, it's a nice ballpark. You have it in a good area here." And I said, "Well, how are they loud?" He says, "Yeah, they can be loud." And he immediately said that our fans at the K way outdid theirs. And it was the energy level, was the decimals and the energy, and that really helps these players. And I thought he might have some special things to say here about being in the World Series here. And he just kind of said, ho hum, I'd rather be at home.
Oh, Alex also remembers Brandon Crawford. As Crawford will send one up the middle, cut up by Escobar, and that's a nice play. 2 out.
Better believe it. That's routine for Esky. But you know, Crawford's robbed a lot of hits. So Esky's just returning the favor. See him playing the pull up there up the middle. And good range. Head down. You notice when he received the ball, watch his head here. Watch this. See how he looks it into his glove? The minute you take your head up too soon and you look at first base, that's when you miss it. Keep your eye on the ball. He's a Gold Glover.
And I brought up the Crawford-Gordon combination because those were the two guys in that key moment, the final out, needed to wrap up Game 7 of the 2014 World Series. And Gordon, who hit that ball that snuck by 2 fielders for the Giants, as Gordon touched third base, Crawford was accepting the throw as the cutoff man. And Brandon Crawford is known for having the best arm in the National League. And there were a lot of fans who thought, why didn't they send him? Alex himself said, because I would have been out by 15 feet.
Yeah, when the Giants were at the K on April 18th and 19th, we had a shot from the third base camera well that I have never seen before. It might have been on the other side of the bag, but it showed Crawford catching the ball way before Alex even hit third. And so, you know, that even there it was. I mean, all the people that were angry about that, not sending him Jersley, it was all for naught.
Rats.
Hey, Vargas walked.
He's human.
He did. He walked the batter. Still, Ned has no action up in the Royals pen. 2 outs. No sweat.
And he's well on his way to winning his 9th game, which would tie him, with Dallas Keuchel of Houston for the most wins. With Slater at the plate, Tomlinson has moved to the on-deck circle for San Francisco, and he'll have a chance after Slater comes through with a base hit to right field.
Now they're going to get a little stirring going out there in that bullpen.
It looks like Scott Alexander will head down to the bullpen to start to throw for Kansas City. Right now Vargas has a comfortable 8-1 lead, but wants to get Tomlinson here, who has come off that bench.
I'll say he has. He's 6 for 18 as a pinch hitter for manager Bruce Bochy.
And that's tough to do. You were talking about young guys, and Kelby is a young player having to come off the bench. But in the National League, you pretty much know your roles. So
that's
you
right.
better get ready for it.
Yeah, you can mess around and whatever you want to do on the bench for the first 5 innings, and then after that you better be in the game. You better be ready, going underneath, taking your swings, getting loose, because in the National League you're going to pinch hit for the pitcher.
And Kelby is a local Kansan guy. Well, almost as far away from Kansas City as you can get, though. He's from Liberal, down in the southwest corner.
And I remember I was in the Giant clubhouse today, and I was talking to Hunter Pence, and he walked by. This young man here walked by, and I stared at him, and Hunter Pence goes, "Yeah, he's a player." Because he's got those glasses, he looked like he could be a ball boy or someone who works with the team. And he laughed. He had a good sense of humor. He's a young guy.
He and his wife Tiffany have one son. Do you know what that son's name? Huck.
Oh, beautiful.
Huck McCoy Tomlinson.
Nice.
Played his college baseball at Texas Tech. Vargas has him down 1 ball, 2 strikes. Vargas has struck out 5 tonight. make it 6 as he strikes out the kid from Liberal, Kansas. Great job by Vargas tonight. 7 innings of 1-run ball. Vargas 7 innings of 1-run ball as he's in line to win his 9th game this year, and the Royals with another big inning. On Saturday they had that 9-run 8th inning, and they scored 6 runs on 6 hits in the 6th inning tonight. Our Honda play of the game thus far, bases loaded, Whit Merrifield up.
Oh, Bob telling you that was a little slicer down the right field line, and Hunter Pence did all he could, but there's no chance. Whitley touching all the bases, his 2nd triple. He'll take the RBIs as well. Whitley entertaining the Royals fans that are here, and his mom who's in the stands. That's right. Knuckle bumps galore, sir. You got a few bus drivers and a souvenir baseball. And he's telling the Giant fan all about it.
Meantime, on the field, we've got ourselves a new battery. And it will be Hunter Strickland throwing to Nick Hundley. Hundley giving Buster Posey the rest of the evening off. And here is Whit to open the 8th. Strickland, hard thrower out of Georgia. So we're talking about 93, 94, 95 miles an hour from Hunter.
Yep, hard slider and a split finger to go with those 90 to 95 heaters. 1.90 ERA. Opponent's not doing much.
Nunez tries but can't get Whit Merrifield. That was a heck of an attempt. And he rolled over. How did he get anything on that throw?
He's got some skills. If he's accurate with it, it would have been fun to see. I thought it might have had a chance to get through there, but he took 3 or 4 steps. He didn't barrel it exactly, but
oh man, look at that.
That's, you're a big leaguer. You can do that, Fizz. That's 8th infield hit for Whitley.
So here's Hundley giving Posey a few innings off.
Big game tomorrow.
Yep.
Oh, it'll be beautiful here.
Jason Hamill going for Kansas City, and former Royal Johnny Cueto, who's part of our World Championship team in 2015.
So much want to see one of our Royals hit one in McCovey Cove.
They're pretty cool. All the kayaks going after it. They're usually struck by left-handers, and I'll tell you, they had a player a few years ago, Barry Bonds, who threw it, hit it into the drink a lot.
Barry's an assistant here. I saw him today before the game.
Fastball in.
He said he loved being the hitting coach last year.
73 splash hits
for the Marlins. Yeah. He enjoyed it.
I remember that 2014 postseason when Hunter Strickland gave up 2 home runs to the Royals. one by Omar Infante and the other by Mike Moustakas. Who's still 5 batters away.
I had a lot of fun going in the coaches of the Giants locker room today before they went on the field, and had my ring on, and they were all oohing and on. Dave Rigetti, Mark Gardner, the bullpen coach. That's a walk. Sean Dunston, one of their coaches there. They were checking out the ring, and they were comparing it with some of theirs. They were impressed with the Royals championship ring. How couldn't you be? Strickland, Hundley went out there and said, hey, you know what? Let's go. We got to get you throwing strikes here. No free passes.
Kane 1 for 4 on the evening. 3 times he's flied out. And then he also laced a single to center field and scored one of the 6 runs that KC put on the scoreboard in that 6th. And the Royals right now with 14 hits. Strickland, one of 7 Giants still around who played on that 14 team. Out of play, 1-1. The others are Bumgarner, who's on the disabled list, Posey, Bell, Crawford, Panik, and Pence. And for the Royals, Lorenzo Cain was there. So was Danny Duffy and Escobar and Gordon and Hosmer and Herrera, Moustakas, Perez, and Vargas. Again out of play on a hard fastball at 94 miles an hour.
Locane, he's looking for that pitch. That's what he wants.
Merrifield with the infield hit. He's at second. Bonifacio walked on base for the 3rd time. Every single Royal has reached in tonight's ball game. Then he zips a fastball at 96 on the low outside corner and strikes out Cain.
You notice how he taps his glove when he brings his arm back, rears it back, and then right before he separates, he pats his glove. We talk about that on defense. When a defender catches the ball, he taps his glove in his hand with the ball to get his timing. And Hunter Strickland does the same thing on the mound here. Watch it. It's very slight.
For a 6 and a 3 inning ending double play. The Royals threaten but do not score. They still lead by 7.
A lot of Royals fans here at AT&T, but there's one that should be watching right now. Want to wish Agatha Birkland, we only got about 28 minutes left Central Time till the day changes, a 102nd birthday. She never misses a game. And as a matter of fact, Hud, you may remember this. I don't know if Fizz or Ryan were doing the game, but we wished her a happy birthday on her 100th.
Right.
But I looked back, and the Royals didn't win that day. But if they win today, this will be 5 wins in the last 6 years on Agatha's birthday. So got to hang on for the win here. And how great is she looking at 102? Many, many more to come. Happy birthday, Agatha.
Way to go, Joel. Way to bring her in. Gonna win, we hope.
Well, Agatha just hopes that Travis Wood can shut him down in the bottom of the 8th inning. He's pitched well of late. You see he has a rather high ERA, but lately Travis has been getting him out. Escaped the 2-on, 2-out jam in relief of Mike Minor in the 7th on Saturday.
87-92 for that heater.
Gordon will take care of this one.
Curveball.
Span is out.
Slider, changeup, cutter into righties. He's feeling a little bit better.
Travis has allowed just 3 runs over his last 6 outings. That covers 7 1/3 innings. Nunez doubled in the 6th, but he was left stranded when Belt flied out and Posey grounded out. So what a line for Jason Vargas. Another 7 innings and just 1 run allowed. So that makes it 10 of his 13 starts that Jason Vargas has allowed 2 or fewer runs. Boy, that is sensational.
Better believe it.
And you know the sad thing is, Hud, his ERA went up from 2.08 to 2.10.
Really? Look at that fan out there. He's...
No, I'm sorry. It was 2.18. I beg your pardon. I stand corrected.
Okay.
I was looking at the wrong column.
Happens.
Column
Like
as I see him.
That fan, he lost it in the lights. Got a man there.
Center field. Kane takes care of it, and 2 out. What is Wood doing now that's allowed him to have success that he didn't have the first 6 weeks of the season?
His tempo is much better. He's much more relaxed. You can tell by looking at him. I'll never forget his first 2 or 3 outings in the Royals uniform. He looked so nervous. He looked tight, and you could tell that his pitches were right in the middle of the plate when he didn't want them. But now he's off the plate a little bit. He's walking people, but now he's starting to find his groove. And talking with Dave, his master mechanic, says that really he's much more relaxed and he's got a better tempo, and he's executing his pitches a little bit better out of the middle.
A 1 hopper that Merrifield is able to take care of and throws out Brandon Belt.
Good hands, tough play by Whitley.
Sure was.
Look at Woody. 1, 2, 3. 14 hits. Beautiful.
Gorkis Hernandez comes into play center field for San Francisco, and out of the bullpen comes Sam Dyson, who made his Giants debut on Sunday and faced 4 batters. He was acquired from the Texas Rangers on June 6th for a player to be named later, and Dyson was the Rangers closer last year, but Rex, he had a devil of a time. He went 1-6 with a 10.8 ERA and 4 blown saves in 17 games with the Rangers, and they dealt him to San Francisco.
Yep. Had some issues in the middle of the plate. Obviously, couldn't figure him out. Opponents raked him over 400. I mean, not just 300, 400. And
Hey,
so if you don't have, this is a performance-based business, and he couldn't correct it, and they let him go.
And that was a guy who was 3rd in the American League last year in saves with 38.
But with his stuff, he's going to get another job because he throws hard. He's a mid-90s guy, slider change. And Dave Righetti is an outstanding world champion pitching coach. And he's hoping that he can rework Sam Dyson. 2-seam sinker. Nice.
That was the pitch that he lost with Texas. It was really flat.
Sometimes you can't figure it out. And a change of scenery is the best thing. And Righetti's hoping to help him.
Two and 1 to Perez, who is 1 for 4 in the game. Lined out his last time up.
Dave Righetti. It's going to go foul. Dave Righetti, Fizz, he's in his 18th season as the pitching coach for the Giants. What does that tell you?
He's a lifer.
No
because he
question.
pitched a long time in the big leagues.
Well, sure he did.
Best years with the Yankees.
And
Royals have not gone deep yet after hitting 10 home runs in San Diego's 3 games. 9 in the last 2, which tied a franchise best.
Salvi'd like to have that one back. And Dale Swain, he's got to be feeling a lot better. But he's never changes his demeanor. Never. Very calm, which is good. You don't want a hitting coach that's a little bit hyperactive, a little bit, with his emotions on his shoulders. Because the day-to-day grind of baseball, you need somebody that's even keeled, has experience, switch hitter like Dale was, very calm with these guys, always watching film, invites the guys to come in, doesn't say, hey, get in here in my office at 2 o'clock today. He treats men like men. They're big leaguers. Oh, nice.
Salvador Perez ropes this one to left. It'll roll to the wall. And he's around first base and easily gets to second with a stand-up double. So he has 2 hits, and the Royals have 15 as a team.
That's right. That 11th double. That's nice. He gets underneath that. That's a homer. But look, the 2-seamer was way in, but Salvi's quick. Just brings his hands right in and is able to rake it. We talked to Moose. I did it about hitting one in the McCovey's Cove. He said it depends on how the wind's blowing.
Well, the wind's blowing out right now.
Well, that's what he said. He said, no, I'm going to need a little bit of help. Not tonight.
He'll help Perez get to third. And Moose is out. He's 2 for 5. Escobar had a big hit back in that 6th inning. The Royals leading by only 1 run at 2-1. He came up Ripped a double down the right field line with the bases loaded and drove in 2. That made it 4-1. And then when the bases were loaded again for Whit Merrifield, he cleared them with a triple. The Royals really have had their way against San Francisco in interleague play. They've won 10 of the 14 regular season games and well on the way of making it 11 of 15. One ball, one strike. Escobar pops it up shallow right. Hunter Pence will make the catch, and Perez not going anywhere. Royals kind of restocking their organization yesterday and today. They had 4 of the top 100 picks in the Major League Baseball draft, and the first pick was Nick Prado, the first baseman from Huntington Beach. And then a catcher, MJ Melendez, from a high school in Florida. Evan Steele played for the national champions in the Junior College World Series, where he was named the most outstanding pitcher.
You know, the kid Prado.
That's right.
Before I came here, Fizz, in Kansas City, I had a radio show that I did in Southern California called the Wonder Dog Hour, and it was on Saturdays. And the Huntington Beach team won the Little League championship.
Yep.
So I had the whole team on the show with me, and I got to meet him. And I wonder if he'll remember me at all. But you know, it's just amazing how fast time flies. And now here we do.
He'll remember you.
We got him.
Hard to forget.
They were all very fresh. They loved being on the radio with me, and we just had fun.
And Prado was the star of that team. He was the left-handed starting pitcher who performed so well at Williamsport, and also had the walk-off game-winning hit.
They were all gentlemen, and their parents were wonderful.
We hope to see him in Royals blue. They also got Daniel Tillo, a left-handed pitcher out of Iowa West Junior College. Alex has had a good game. On base all 4 times. A single, a double, and 2 intentional walks. His batting average right now at 189.
Yeah. Let's just try to get him up over that Mendoza mark and move forward. I like the fact that he went down the left field line. Even his foul balls tonight that he's hit to the left side are good. And I've noticed a difference in his hands. Okay, his hands aren't down low around his belt. He's raised his hands and he's leveled the bat to where it's a little bit of a better hitting position. See it on his shoulder now?
Yep.
It's on his shoulder. His hands are higher. I like it. It's an easier path to the ball.
And Dyson's able to snap that 2-seamer in there and strike him out.
leading the Giants here as they are trying to wrap it up in the 9th inning. Joel Goldberg down by the visiting dugout, and we'll have plenty to talk about coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. Yes, a lot of offense, but with Jason Vargas on the hill, he doesn't need much. Another great performance from Vargy, and yes, there was indeed a lot of offense to go with it as the bats exploding by the bay, continuing what they did Saturday and Sunday in San Diego. We'll talk about that here from Ned Yost and much more coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. Fizz?
Thank you, Joel, and it has been a wonderful evening. As we talked about, Vargas was terrific again. Lowered his ERA from 2.18 to 2.10, giving up 1 run in 7 innings. So Nick Hundley will bat for the first time. Came on to give Posey a little time off. Hundley, a veteran catcher. So Hundley, Pence, and Crawford here in inning number 9. And the first pitch is swung on, hit to center field. Kane jogs in, 1 pitch, 1 out for Travis Wood.
Can of corn.
The Royals started the night 5 games back of Minnesota. No one pulling away in the Central. Even though the Royals were 6 games under 500 at 28-34, but if they win tonight, they will have won 3 in a row for the first time since May 11th to the 14th.
Twins scored 20 runs today.
They beat the Mariners 20-7. So the Royals will be still 5 games back of the Twins. Giants beat the Twins on Sunday 13-8. And the other interesting story is the Royals will start Matt Strahm on Thursday in Anaheim. And Eric Skoglund will come out of the bullpen.
That'll be interesting. Wood snapped that ball that Salvi threw back. Doesn't want to walk anybody here. There you go.
Well, Matt Strahm is a guy, when he came up, he was in relief, I think, his first two professional years, and then they moved him into the rotation and pitched quite well. He has that very lively fastball, but as a starter, we'll get the chance to see his changeup. And he does walk Pence with 1 out. Crawford is 0 for 2, but he did drive in San Francisco's only run back in the 2nd inning. With Posey at third base, he hit a sacrifice fly to center field. Vargas said no more. And he knocks this one to center field, but playable for Kane. 2 out. Aaron Hill is 0 for 2 with a walk. It's a 12:45 game back in Kansas City tomorrow afternoon. 2:45 back in Kansas City, 12:45 here, I beg your pardon. That ball popped up right side. Hosmer over near the stands, and Eric makes the catch, wrapping this one up. And Kansas City is now 3-1 on this road trip that started in San Diego and now in San Francisco. Merrifield drove in 3. Escobar had a big night with a couple of hits. And Jason Vargas, of course, with the biggest night, as he now is tied for the American League lead in wins with 9.
Way to go, Dr. Vargas. And how about the offense? The offense was really special. I mean, they supported him. 15 hits, 8 runs. I'm telling you what, Alex Gordon's starting to come around. But those 1 and 2 guys that Ned put up at the top of that lineup, Merrifield and Bonifacio, man, that's been a big difference in this offense. And getting those power guys down there below him. Kane, Hosmer, Perez, Moose. Hey, it's working.
Yeah, Merrifield.